was Scream 7 really as bad as everyone said it was? So I just want to start out with saying that Scream, not only as a franchise, but the original one, are my top favorite movies and franchise in general. You know, I watched Scream as a kid for Halloween, and it was an amazing movie. And the series, like I said, it's one of my favorites. I like how they kind of carry it, but was 7 kind of just a cash grab? And what I mean by that is, I'll break it down. The intro was kind of useless. I mean, they had it back at the old Stumacher house, and two couples who were just there, I guess, got killed. And then the Ghostface burnt it down, which doesn't make any sense to me. But you don't hear about why. You don't know why. But it made no sense to me. So the intro, starting out into the movie right after that, Sydney's obviously back. We know that. And she has a daughter. And her daughter sneaks in her boyfriend, just like what happened with Billy Loomis in the original. And then he quotes it, talking about the iconic line of, I was watching TV and it occurred to me that I never snuck in through your window. Which, it was kind of cool seeing that in theater, but it made no sense. It was just one of those nostalgic grabs. It just made no sense to add in. But I'm not gonna lie, my favorite part was definitely seeing Sydney back. It's just, I liked it. Campbell did an amazing job as Sydney in the original, and she still does an amazing job now playing Sydney. But now let's really deep dive into it. The plot. It was kind of sporadic. It didn't make sense where things were. I mean, you had a good introduction of characters. One, I don't remember his name, but one of them was really creepy. It did remind me of Billy Loomis a little bit. Spoiler, he wasn't the killer. He got killed, obviously. But I don't know why they didn't have one of the kids as the killers. It just made no sense. But I'm not going to spoil too much till the end. So Sydney gets a call in the beginning when she owns a coffee shop. And it seems to be Stumacher, which was really cool to see because one of the biggest theories was he didn't die from the TV. But that's not the case. So the more and more the story goes, there's kids that get killed during like rehearsal for a play. And I will say the deaths were very good. They were well thought out, graphic, well organized, and the actors obviously were safe the entire time, which is a huge plus. But that's all it really had going for it. But back to the plot. My bad. It just... things were thrown in randomly to fill in the time. That's my opinion. Like I said, you had the kids at the school, and then you had a Ghostface wannabe break into the house, and then gets hit by a car, which is when Gale Weathers comes back in. But then it just kind of goes down from that. The kids break into a bar, they get killed in said bar, then they run off, or Sydney's daughter runs off, gets chased by the ghost faces, and then ends up in the coffee shop. She gets in, the ghost face somehow knew the code, doesn't explain why they knew the code, but they did. And she barricades herself into the office, which is when Sydney says there's a gun in the office. And shoots one of the Ghostface through the wall, then runs, and then the other one's there. Both the Ghostface are trying to attack her. Then she gets knocked out, they kidnap her, they take her back. What I thought was, I'm pretty sure, is the original house where, oh my gosh, what was her name? The blonde girl in the beginning who was played by Drew Barrymore. Casey and her boyfriend got killed. I think that's what it was. I'm not fully sure because it was similar to it, but it also could have been the house that they were in. It just looked similar to that house, but it obviously wasn't. I don't think it was, but it in the storyline it said that that's where it happened. But this is the part that makes me so mad. They had the idea that Stu was coming back. He was checked into a mental hospital, supposedly. There was no death record, no coroner record, no morgue record, nothing. He was brought to a hospital, was deemed incompetent for trial, and was kept there. And then released 2 weeks ago, the dude says. And then the entire time you're thinking, oh my god, it really is Stu. Just for it to be an AI. The killers used AI. Here's the worst part. The two killers had nothing to do with the plot. It was the next door neighbor and some random dude. Let's face it, we don't know. We don't know why he was the killer. Some random dude. But they both end up dying, but they said that they used AI to recreate Stu Macher. Why? Because you wanted to bring him back? If they really wanted to, bring him back, why not just follow a plot line that you already have, that Stu's alive? Clearly he's alive somewhere. But I guess not. I guess not. And it kind of felt like a gut punch as a Scream fan. That you have someone so iconic to the storyline and you bring him back as an AI figure, that it just made no sense. I personally just felt disrespected by it, being as big of a Scream fan as I am. You know, I literally have right here, I don't know if I have the mask, but I literally have a screen print Ghostface costume. It's even sparkly. I have a screen one. Why not? It makes no sense. Listen to what the fans want. Look. It made no sense why they did what they did. It just didn't make any sense. To say you're gonna bring someone back and then not bring him back, but it made no sense. The movie didn't make a lot of sense. It was fun to go there and watch it alone, but I didn't get the vibe, the right kind of vibe from it. It just felt like a cash grab. It didn't feel like it was anything fun. It didn't feel like it was anything scary. It was just kind of boring. But, I mean, I will say they worked hard on it. They definitely did. The budget was high. They had some really good kills. That's probably one of my only pros, though, is, the kills were good and Sydney. But everything else was just kind of bad. I mean, they used AI to become Billy Loomis's mom and then Dewey. And I'm just like, why? It made no sense that the plot was based on AI. And they kind of gave it away in the beginning when Sydney says, does your son know anything about AI? I don't know. It felt like, if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10. The original, 10 out of 10. In my opinion, one of the best movies ever. But throughout the series, they just kind of went down. And it sucks seeing something that's so good get turned into a cash grab. But I appreciate what they did. They tried. And it might not be better than the original. I don't think anything will be. But at least they tried to bring something back for us. So I do appreciate that. But other than that, it was just kind of a boring cash grab, bad movie. But I do want to thank you guys for listening to this. I know I said I'd drop it on Monday or Friday. Sorry, I said I'd post it on Friday, but I I got caught up with stuff. I felt a little bit sick. My head was hurting throughout work and when I went to celebrate my friend's birthday. So I'm dropping it tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm trying something new. I usually post car videos on Friday, but I had to get this out because of how big of a Scream fan I am. So thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know if you guys like the car videos. I noticed there's not as much traction on the cars as like cologne and self-help. So if you guys want me to talk about pulp culture and things like that, just everything, let me know. I love it. I love talking about movies and music and things like that. So if you guys want me to talk about that, let me know. Or if you want me to change to something completely random, let me know that too. But like I said, just want to thank you guys so much. Remember to live life to the fullest. God bless.